before we hear from a Conservative MP, now known as a rebel because he's prepared to defy his own Prime Minister to try to stop a no-deal Brexit, we will talk to Hannah White, who is from the Institute for Government, Dr. Hannah White, and she is going to explain exactly what we can all expect from the week ahead in layman's terms. Thank you very much, Hannah White, for coming into the programme. So what are MPs opposed to leaving without a deal going to do?
So this week we think they're going to try to take control of the House of Commons agenda and pass legislation to stop Boris Johnson taking the UK out of the EU without a deal. So if he doesn't get a new deal and Parliament hasn't said it's OK to go without a deal, then he won't be able to do it.
Right. Have they got the time to get this through? Have they got the votes and the numbers to get this through? Not just the Commons, but the House of Lords?
Well, I think until the bill's introduced, we won't know about the numbers. The timing is really tight. They've only got a few days before Boris Johnson has said he's going to suspend Parliament. We expect that to happen probably on Monday next week. So from when Parliament sits tomorrow, they've got 4 or 5 days to get a bill through the Commons and through the Lords.
Michael Gove yesterday refused a number of times to deny the government might ignore any new law. Could the government ignore the law, break the law?
I think it's really unthinkable that the government can say that it wouldn't follow a law that had been passed. I think what he was probably implying is that when the government sees this bill, they hope there'll be some kind of loophole, which will mean that they can possibly follow it to the letter, but that it won't force them to do what the rebels are hoping it will force them to do.
OK. Conservative MPs who want to vote to stop no deal are being threatened with being thrown out of the Conservative Party. Will this make any difference to the chances of this legislation getting through?
My impression is that these Conservative MPs, they've made their mind up already, that this threat won't make a great deal of difference. And whether they're in the party or not in the party, I don't think they're going to be voting with the Prime Minister. So this probably doesn't change the dial very much.
But if Boris Johnson is threatening to chuck them out of the Conservative Party if they do vote against him, does that, bearing in mind he has a majority of 1, if he's prepared to lose that majority, does that suggest he's really getting ready for a general election?
I think it's clear that he would prefer to have an election. He's said he's got lots of things he wants to do in his new Queen's speech. He won't be able to do any of that with his current tiny majority in Parliament. So really, he's got to be looking at a way to find a way to have an election.
And would that election be before October the 31st or after?
That is the crucial question, and that is what MPs will want to satisfy themselves about. If he asks them, there's one way to get an election which involves 2/3 of MPs voting to have an election, they might want to do that, but they won't want to do it unless they're sure that we won't be leaving the EU in the course of the election campaign.
OK. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hannah White. Dr. Hannah White from the Institute for Government.